Going on, guys? Joe from SRHQ. Today I have a pretty old GEC to share with you guys today. This is a 53 Cuban Stockman from the 2007 lineup. Now, if you guys don't know, GEC started producing knives in 2006, so that makes this a second year production. So I think that's pretty cool. I've been looking for a 2006, haven't been able to find one yet. As of right now, this is my oldest GEC, second year production. So let's just go ahead and take a look at this. This is in Mexican bocote covers, exotic Mexican bocote covers. Here's a look at the tube. They did the tubes a little bit differently back then. I'll just give you guys a look at what it says on the label. They hadn't started with the coating system and putting a sticker on top just yet. Instead, they had a small sticker down here. You can see the pattern or the frame is the 53 Cuban. It's from 2007. It's in exotic Mexican bocote. And also this says number 64. This is a limited run with this particular variant. You can see here it's one of 150. And right here on the bolster, we also have the corresponding 64064. So, really cool knife. What do we have here? We have the Cuban Stockman. It's very reminiscent of an old cattle knife, just seeing that it is an equal end frame, this cigar frame. They call it a cigar because, you know, it resembles a cigar. But typically the cattle knives had this equal end frame. Stockmans typically have a serpentine frame, but this has the standard 3 blades that typically come in a Stockman. That being a clip point blade. You can see here we have a long Turkish clip, I would say. Full flat grind. See our blade marking right there. Tidioute Cutlery trademark. This is 1095 steel. On the reverse we have model 53 Cuban. 1 of 50. So the Cuban, it just ties into the cigar theme of the handle. And actually I can show you here when this knife came, it has like this little wrapper on it like a cigar would have a wrapper. So that's pretty cool. It all ties into the Cuban name. It's a cigar frame, equal end frame. So here's our clip point blade. All these blades open with a nail nick. None of them have half stops. And then we have 2 secondary blades. So it's 3 blades total that operate off 2 springs. We have a sheepfoot blade as well as a spey blade that are going to share a single spring. So here's our sheepfoot blade. Really pretty decent sized sheepfoot. Has this really aggressive drop off, almost like a coping blade. If this was a straighter, more angular cutoff, we could say that's a coping blade. But yeah, that's a sheep's foot blade. Pretty good one, if you ask me. Just look at these Tang Stamps. I didn't show the Tang Stamps on the first one. Here we have Tidioute Cutlery, made in the USA on the master clip. On the reverse, we have Great Eastern Cutlery, Titusville, PA. Then on our sheepfoot blade, we have Titusville Ironworks. And nothing on the reverse. Then we have our spey blade, and as we can see here, it's marked with 2007. So they hadn't quite come out with the numbering system that they use. And you can see here, it's got a really aggressive swedge on this side of the sheepfoot, not so much on the other side, as well as we have, I'd say, a normal swedge on this side and a pretty exaggerated swedge on that side. That's just so these blades can fit together in that really tight space. They are sharing 1 spring. Looks like we have nickel silver bolsters. Like I mentioned, it is serialized. This is number 64 of 150. Brass pins, nickel silver shield. This is a Tidioute, so it's going to be a less dressy version. You know, if you had a Northfield unexcelled version, you would have a little bit more bells and whistles, but this is just the Tidioute. Nothing wrong with it. It's still put together great. Still a beautiful knife. It's just a more base version, and that's okay. Some people like the base versions. Some people don't like all the frills. So, whatever, pick your flavor. We have carbon steel springs, brass liners. Let's just take a look at this exotic Mexican bocote. Really cool. It's the only knife I have in this wood. It's a really beautiful knife. I did look into it a little bit. They use this wood. It's an extremely hard wood, really strong, really durable. They use it for furniture, for flooring. They use it in boat building, and of course in knife scales. It's known for having these really long, really dark brown, almost black swirls that go across the lighter parts of the wood. Really great looking. I like the mark side cover a little bit better than the file side cover. Just more even, more consistent. Here you have this really large area of just lighter grain. But it's okay. You know, wood is a natural material. You're going to have variance. No other knife is going to look like this one. So yeah, I have a lot of the newer GECs, and I can say there are some differences in the action and everything like that between the old and the new. The newer ones, all of the ones that I have typically are around a 5 or a 6 pull weight. These springs on this knife are much stronger. I would say this is probably 8, 8.5, and that pull strength is consistent with all of the blades. Has really nice snap. Good sound, good walk, good talk. Just overall great action on this blade. They are just a little bit stronger than they typically have on the newer Great Eastern Cutleries. As far as the fit and finish, you know, one thing that's really great about Great Eastern Cutlery, it's not like they had a learning curve. You know, this is a second-year production knife, and the quality is just as good as any of the ones that they've put out in the last few years. I mean, it's just really tight back springs, really great transitions, shield's nice and flush, covers are nice and smooth, everything matches up. It's just always fun to review one of these, talk about one of these, just because they're made so well. You know, there's not a lot to pick apart on these. Blade sitting that blade well, really tight. You can see the sheep's foot has been crinked over a little bit to allow space for that spey blade. Clip blade is going to operate off of this single spring. You can see our centering here on the master blade is nice and centered. And the way they have crinked this and swedged it out to fit these two blades together, you can see there is a little bit of blade rub, but that's pretty common on any of your Stockman knives or your Congress knives. Anytime you put 3 or more blades on a knife, you're going to inevitably have a little bit of blade play. But yeah, guys, that's going to about do it. I just wanted to turn the camera on, show you guys this one. I've had this one for quite a while. I just haven't made a video on it, but I think this is a very cool GEC 2007 second year run. Yeah, that's going to do it, guys. Thanks a lot for watching, and have a great day. Bye-bye.